What's up everybody, this is Arden with Yellow House Aerial, and today we're talking about watches. This particular one has spent over 4 days with me at the bottom of the ocean, basically keeping me alive. Okay, just kidding. Today we're going to talk about how to never lose a file again. So this is Yellow House Aerial, where we're talking about all things aerial cinematography and a few things mildly related to that. On Monday, we talked about speed matching with the Inspire 2. Practice seems to be the best way to do that. You can check out the video right there. Today, we're going a little broader to something that I think everybody should do. I'm going to tell you how to use backups to make sure you never lose a file again. Have you ever deleted something accidentally? Have you ever lost a hard drive, dropped a hard drive, or maybe you've had something stolen? Even if you're not a photographer, a cinematographer, most folks have a phone and a computer, and it's wise to back up your phone to that computer periodically if your phone doesn't already back up to the cloud. Fun fact, there's no such thing as the cloud, only somebody else's computer. Think about that for a second. So let's assume that you back up your phone, and let's assume that you back it up to your computer. So all of your files, everything is on your computer, it's in one place. Computers die, they get stolen, maybe you accidentally wipe the hard drive. That doesn't really happen, but sometimes it does happen. But it won't happen to you, just be careful. I'm going to talk about what's called the 3-2-1 backup system, which basically means you have 3 copies of your data, 2 of them are with you, and 1 of them is somewhere else. You have all your files on your computer, and something happens to that computer, so you want to have everything copied on a drive. This is where copy number 2 comes in. You can get one of these, a 1 terabyte Western Digital Elements hard drive for about $60 now. You can get a 2 terabyte for $85. Let's say you're like me and you have lots of files, you can get an 8 terabyte Seagate backup. This is USB 3 for about $210. So no matter how much data you have, there's no excuse not to have a second copy. You might say, man, hard drives are kind of expensive, but let's look at this for a second. If somebody steals your computer and you don't have another copy of the files that are on there, you can buy another computer, but you can't buy those files again. If I said I could give those files back to you, would you pay $100 to get those files back? Would you pay $250? Would you pay $500? I think most people that I know probably would pay $500 to get all their data back if ever their computer was stolen or lost or it just crashed on them. So that really puts the cost of hard drives and just having a proper backup system into perspective, and it's really worth it. So how that works is all the time, or at least once every few weeks, you want to take all the data that you have on that computer and put it onto that drive. You go ahead and just copy whatever you're working on, you bring that second copy up to speed, and just make sure that if something happens to it, you got it backed up. So now even I'm guilty of this one. Where do you keep that second copy? This drive lives behind my computer, so it's right there with it. I have it when I need it. Sometimes I even go traveling and I take this drive with me. So it lives in my backpack where my computer is. I'll have something on my computer and I'll have a backup right here just in case my computer dies or something like that. Now here's the problem. So not to get too dark with this, but let's say your computer lives in your basement and your basement floods, or you're out on the go with your files and it's in your backpack and somebody steals your backpack. Whoops. So that's where that third copy comes in. You want to have another copy of your data that's somewhere that you aren't. If you're over here, you want to have that data over here. But there's a problem with that, is if it's a hard drive, you have to go over there, you have to go to your friend's house, or you have to go to work, and you have to back up those files regularly. So it's really hard to keep that third copy up to date. If you back up and then a week later you lose everything, does that third copy have everything that you were working on up to date? Maybe, maybe not. So constantly keeping a hard drive at work or a friend's house updated is kind of a pain in the ass. So enter Backblaze. Disclaimer, I'm not affiliated with Backblaze. They're not paying me to say this. I just find their product super useful. So Backblaze is $5 a month, US, and you get unlimited backup. I have 11.1 terabytes on storage with Backblaze. Photos, videos, shoots, projects, and by the time you watch this, even this video will be on a server in California. That data is encrypted by default, so nobody can access it, and if I feel like I like an extra layer of protection, I can add a passphrase so that I need that passphrase whenever I want to access or decrypt that data. But if you lose that passphrase, not even Backblaze can get it back, so be careful with that one. So what's great about Backblaze is it backs up continuously. It's always going in the background. It uses your internet connection to take everything that's on your computer and just back it up to the server. You create a new project, you hit save, and it backs up within a few minutes. This completely eliminates the need to go to your friend's house and update the drive that you have stored there. So for each copy of your data that you want to have, you need a hard drive to store that. So as you have more data, you need to buy more hard drives, but for this third copy, it's unlimited and you don't have to think about it. So lastly, my favorite thing about Backblaze is if you're out traveling, it doesn't matter where you are, if you have a file or a video or a photo or even an entire shoot that you need to download while you're out and about, you can log on to Backblaze's website and download that file or bunch of files securely at any time. So Backblaze works with Mac and Windows, and it's easy and it's automatic, so don't be afraid to try it. It's free for the first 30 days. Now the one thing is you have to get all of your data from your computer to Backblaze, and that can take some time, depending on how much data you have and how fast your internet connection is. We're talking weeks, maybe a couple months. It took me about 6 months to get all the data to Backblaze, but once it's done, it's continuous and you just don't have to think about it. Back to your second copy for a second. That drive can be an older drive that you have around, it can be a slower one, it doesn't really matter as long as it works. Just be sure to test it and make sure that you can get your data off it should anything happen. Because if you lose an entire hard drive, it's easier to just copy from your local number 2 backup rather than downloading from the server. Those hard drives, a link to Backblaze, and more info about 321 backups are all down in the description. If you have any questions about how to make this work for you, just comment and I'd love to talk about how we can make sure you never lose a file again. Just take this video as a little nudge to take whatever system you have right now, whether that's 2 backups or a couple different hard drives or nothing at all, and just make it a little bit more thorough. Just go get one more drive, make a copy, and you won't regret it. Eventually I'll make a video that talks about the large amounts of files that come with being a photo and video professional. Sometimes you need speed, sometimes you just need cheap data storage, and there's a couple ways to make that happen. So anyway, if you found this video useful, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching. My name is Arden for Yellow House Aerial, and I will see you in the next video.